There you go. Now we're gonna start with part two. Sorry for interrupting that other part that quick. So we arrive at the safe spot, and we are just gonna warp to. For the sake of the video, already have all the wormholes scanned, so the wormholes chain is already there. I'm gonna warp to one of it. I had to just make a bio break. Sorry, guys, but I didn't want to stop the um, recording, or I didn't want to just make it like. So I'm gonna do, I guess, two parts of the video. The other one is gonna be the first part, and that's gonna be the second part. So for the sake of it, I already scanned wormholes entrance and exit. So as you can see, we can fit up to large ships, which means that we can have, or whatever hauling ships, go through there. So now I'm gonna go through the wormhole. Yeah, and that's building your own ships, and yeah, it's just getting there. There you go. We're on the other side. Now I think it was wormhole 2. I should have probably just make quotation a little better, but I think it's wormhole 2. Although I'm not too sure. So I might need to warp around between the wormholes. But the good thing is that this is already scanned. Alright, let me see. Gonna get onto the other side. Let me see if I have any bookmarks. If I have bookmarks in this system, yeah. There we go. Now we're gonna go to high-sec. So a wormhole connection from low-sec to high-sec is somewhat probable, because it's definitely more probable than a high-sec to high-sec connection. You might need to just do a little bit of scanning and find a couple of wormholes, but yeah, that's how we're gonna bring our mats. So we're on the other side, and kaboom, we are in high-sec. Now the thing is, well, you're not gonna be at Jita, but there are a lot of other major trading stations that you can actually go to, and the closest to our location is Delmar. So if you find a connection to high-sec, or even like low-sec, but I wouldn't like low-sec, you should probably just find a connection to. And also, I don't want to. Let's just jump, because I autopiloted. Okay, good. So, and there you go. We know you don't forget to just bookmark all the locations. I already did, but for the sake of your chain, to just bookmark the entrances. Yeah, so there are a couple of major other stations, and Dalmar 8 Oris, it's one of them. Obviously Jira. There's also Dodixie 20, it's a major trading hub, and Midmatar has 2 stations. I think the bigger one is Heck, but there's also Ren's. So there, you can definitely buy stuff there or from there. There's a lot of, materials. So you just have one of your holes, bring the stuff, let's just say at the station here. You get like a hauler, bring your mats. Now I'm warping right now to one of the stations to show you that how you can or what do you actually have to do, because let's just say we are building this ship, right? We have this blueprint right now. We're gonna use the blueprint. So you'll need a couple of other materials here, and is that those steel are pretty heavy. So if you buy them raw, if you buy them like already pre-prepared, so you should definitely just buy compressed stuff. You know, it really doesn't matter. Also, I mentioned the navy, but if you have like a blueprint, it's like a normal blueprint, you wouldn't have to do all the navy or the LP buying stuff. It's just that the navy issue ships are much better or in our meta in the faction warfare zone, so you should. But if you have, you know, normal blueprints, it's a little easier. All right. Well, so you need those mats, and because the wormhole, you cannot actually just bring like a big hauler. You cannot bring a hauler that can transport 1 million M3. You'll have to just bring compressed stuff. So we're gonna, the first one, or even batch compressed, there you go. And there's a couple of, you know, different ones that you can actually buy. And for example, Carnite, it's going to give you Mexalon or Nistogen. You should probably find the right configuration, but those are, you know, the compressed and batch compressed. Stuff are, you know, don't have a lot of, you know, space that you need to carry, so you can just carry, you know, normal hauler. So you can put those stuff in, bring them at the wormhole entrance. For now, for us, is this system. And from there, just bringing there at the front lines. All right, we're almost there at the one of the main trading stations. That's the Amar one. Go. Also, if you're like wondering, well, how do I found a really interesting fit, and I just want to build it, but I don't want to, you know, because we know we're building the ships. Let's just say at the station that we are there in Notoras. Well, how do we actually just? Well, if you have like, this character doesn't have Mega, but you can bring them with Tyra, or whatever this is called. You can transport the stuff closer, but to enter the wormhole, you'll need a small ship. Now, what I wanted to say, back to what I wanted to say, yeah, just building on one ship. So you just build, let's just say I want to build Catalyst, right? Let's just say, and you know, I have a fit that I really like. I simulate it, already have it terracrafted, and you know, I'm buying all those stuff. Well, since I know that, you know, already don't, I want to, let's just say, have, you can just build, you can buy how many you can bring. I don't think you should probably, I think you can bring definitely up to, I think 50. It really depends, but you can just have a lot of orders and build your own ships, whatever you want. If you already have the fifth tier crafter, let's just say I want to buy 2 orders. Well, since I know already that I'm building the ships, I'm not gonna build those mats. Yeah, so I'm buying those. Let's just say, well, I'm gonna buy that anyway. And yeah, I'm gonna bring all those stuff. I think it's a little more than I needed, but I think the salvaging stuff were already there. But I'm gonna bring them. So you have a hauling ship right now. You bought, you know, whatever the fit you like, and the way you just. All right, let me show you a little bit because I want to build. I want to buy the catalyst still too, but or you I want to build the catalyst. So once you are in the station, I want to just show you how to actually simply build the ship already with the fit that you have, you know. So I'll have to buy the ship to show you that. Actually, so simulate. No, just mark it, I guess. Gonna buy one. I'm gonna drop the mats back that I had. Did I already? Okay, I did. So I'm gonna build the ship, and that's really simple. It's under multi-fit, and the fit that you bought, you already, you know, have theory crafted. You buy, and you can just build how many you want. You have two. I cannot build two, but I can build one from the items in the, because I only have one catalyst. There you go. And I build the ship. You can also set to not have rigs in, but I like to have already rigs for faction warfare because, you know, they're just cheap. That's it. I already have the fit. Now the thing is, I showed you here how to have the fit already. You know, you're building the ships there. You're bringing the mats, and all you have to do is just the multi-fit, and you already have your fit in that station, in the close near to front lines that you want to fight for. Now, I'm gonna still bring those stuff with. So you just have a hauler right now, and then you go back. I showed you how to build the ships. Well, one more thing that I forgot. So that's the, you know, the fit for the ship, but you actually need the mats that I already told you. So the compressed stuff, right? So let's just see. I'm only gonna buy for the sake of the video to show you. You'll probably just need more, but you'll need those, you know, compressed stuff. Let's just say, I think I'll have to buy more. Buying 100. Okay. Yeah. There you go. The compressed stuff, it really doesn't take up a lot of cargo, so you can just put a lot of stuff in there. And yeah, you buy the, you know, the modules, you buy the mats, and you're ready to go. You can go back. And we're just gonna travel back to our entrance into those front lines. Yeah, while we are back into, you know, our entrance, I'm gonna. So you can actually just do business too. So if you have like, you can rent an office at the station right there, and if you have corporations, you can actually make contracts, or if you have skills to do contracts, you can do personally. You can actually do contracts. You don't have to do it via corporation, but if you're via corporation, you can do 10 contracts without any skills. You know, also renting an office, you'll need to just be, you know, so just having an alt right there that builds those ships into your front lines, whatever the front line that you're in. And that works. This kind of strategy works for, you know, any front lines or any faction that you're fighting for. It doesn't have to be Kaldari, but obviously, you know, to pay less taxes, you'll have to do those steps for the corporation that you're in. Yeah, and the beauty of it is that, you know, because yeah, sometimes if you're in corporations or alliances, um, they will supply you with stuff, you know, that you just have, you know, you have certain ships, they already, you know, ready to go, and they can give you that. It's just that you cannot personalize, you cannot build it yourself or theorycraft however you want and have them into the front lines, you know. And that's the difference, you know. I really like, you know, just doing my own stuff, without relying on other people. So I'm showing you how to do it yourself too. Obviously, the Kaldari Navy stuff is really important. Kaldari Navy corporation missions are important for anyone, because if you want to do the business in GDA to sell any of the items, doing any activity, if you do gas staffing, if you do data and relics exploration, and you want to sell the stuff that you're in at GDA, you just have, you keep paying the broker fee tax and really just losing money. And you're not even losing money to um, like players, you know. It's just like losing to corporation, to NPC. It's just gone. So that's the worst part. Now I'm just gonna go back to our wormhole entrance. So I'm just imagine like I already have all this. I have a hauling ship right now, and just bring it in the mats back into the front lines. And that's, you know, that's the way you can actually just you know, sustain yourself into the front lines, because if you're trying to just bring your own mats via the normal routes, you're just gonna get camped everywhere. Um, you cannot enter through Tama. It's just Hisera sometimes also camped. Allmaster, the entrance from with Vilor is also camped. The entrance to Kinaka is camped. Here is snuffed out. It's gonna find you if you're flying anything expensive. Um, Here is, it was from Samanoni to Atrono was somewhat a safe entrance, but it's also really hard right now because it's just a lot of battlings going on. Yeah, Vlilier, it's definitely camped there too. I mean, or Reneral, Albanal, all those systems, so you cannot interfere that either. The only way that you can probably enter is via Intaki Ve, and Ferrari. But where are you gonna go? Because you still have to, you know, if you have stuff in Vlilier, you still have to jump between Vlilier and Reneral. So yeah, it is really rough to just have your own stuff. So in like the front lines, that's why sometimes it's really popular to just use the interstellar shipcaster to just jump directly wherever. But the thing is, you're not fighting where you want to fight. You're just fighting where, you know, there's people, or, you know, other people fight. So you cannot choose. You don't have free choice where you want to fight. But if you're just doing the stuff that I'm showing you, you can do that. You can have your own whatever fits that you want to have, and build your own stuff, um, or even have like a business. You know, create a corporation, rent an office there, sell contracts, fully fitted contracts with ships that you have there. The possibilities are, you know, larger. And obviously it doesn't have to be but you want to be like in a corporations that you have good standing with, because you don't want to have to pay the extra taxes, so you can actually make some sort of profit. go. We're close to our arrived destination. There we go. Now, the thing is, you'll still have to do a little bit of scanning, but I mean, you're not bringing stuff every day, you know? You know? So you don't have to do that daily, you just have to do it like once you have the entrance. And yeah, sometimes, you know, even the wormholes are not that safe, but it's definitely much safer than, you know, just trying to bring stuff via normal routes. So we're gonna dock one of the... Also, if you see like Chew, and if you want to do a business, so let's just say, you would much rather want to be at one of the, if they're similar, like in our situation. If you want to rent an office, obviously, you want to be where there's less people, so you just have to pay the rent a little less. Yeah, there you go. We arrived. We're in the front lines. So now we're just gonna build our own stuff, you know. We brought our mats. Now the advantage is that you can just reprocess the stuff here, cost 0 tax, you know. There's obviously you'll need a lot more. I only you know, bought for the sake of the video, so you can actually, you know have an idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah, also the advantage of the Caledonia, they always have industry. So yeah, offices, you know, rent one, make contracts, or just build your own stuff. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it about the video. I showed you how to just have your own stuff into your front lines. If you like the video, thanks. Leave a like, subscribe. Take care. 07.